Good morning. It is Tuesday, May 17th, which makes it 90 days out from Monday, August 15th. It's like, and we'll talk about this when we get there. There's always like that end of summer. It's 3 days, 2 days, just after Labor Day, and you're realizing the whole universe just came here for the summer because so many people come to New England, so many people come to the seacoast. And you think about all the drinks and all the beach time and all the lobster rolls, and like all these people came here and they vacated. They had their vacations, and you're wondering, where did mine go? Did I take one? Most of us try to carve out at least something. I was talking with one of our agents yesterday, and just because of schedules between high school students and college students, they're probably going to put their family vacation off until the fall or the winter. My concern for everybody is that you take something for yourself, and this goes back 4,000 years to when I was in college. I had a great dean named Father Fay, and he said, boys, if you don't take one day off, you'll take every day off, which is true, right? If you're not unplugging, and I would correlate this down to every day as well, if you're not unplugging, you will start to stack. And you know, I say this with love. There's no red badge of courage because you have decided not to take any time off. And you have to ask yourself, what are you doing with your KW minutes? What are you doing with your real estate minutes that you feel you couldn't possibly take any time off? And I know right now this might fly in the face because you're thinking, okay, well, I'm just trying to get my next kitchen table, Timmy. I'm trying to get my next deal. I'm trying to get my next GCI check. I'm trying to pay for said vacation, all that kind of stuff. I appreciate that. All of that doesn't fall on deaf ears, and all of that is being experienced by everyone. Nobody's vacation got less expensive if you're taking one. So what will you be doing? Are you okay with a staycation? And from a family vacation standpoint, for me, mentally, cathartically, I have to be out of the area. And again, I just talked about millions of people are going to come to the seacoast to take a vacation this summer. And it's going to start relatively soon because after Memorial Day, all bets are off. 16 North on Friday by 3:38 is going to be a shite show. It's French for bad. Look it up. Where do you need to be? Is a staycation okay for you? For some people, that's good. I got to get out. Everybody's just like, it's so beautiful. You guys always go to the Cape. Why don't you just go to like Maine? I'm like, because if I'm on vacation and I run into Troy Williams, I'm just kidding. I just want to get out. And growing up, we would go to the Cape. We would go over the bridge. That to me, mentally and emotionally, is vacation. So what are you going to do for yourself? What time are you taking? And if a vacation, if a full week off the bricks, if 2 weeks off the bricks, and if you're doing 2 weeks, that is magical. I remember when we were kids, we would do 2 weeks at the Cape because my dad invariably couldn't come down for the whole time. And that middle weekend on a 2-week vacation, right? Because a week stay anywhere, everyone knows this, you spend so much time getting in. If you're renting a camp or a cottage at the beach or a camp at the lake, you're getting in, you're getting grocery shopping done. Like, you don't really start to unplug until Monday because it's all about getting there, getting unpacked, going grocery shopping, all the things. Unless you have your own place and it's already stocked. And then by Friday morning, you're starting to not be on vacation again because you're getting ready to leave again. So 2 weeks is magical. How often are you doing this? That great book, The 12-Week Year from Brian Moran, M-O-R-A-N, Brian Moran. Phenomenal book. And it breaks the year down into quarters, right? Now, your argument would be, well, hold it, 12 weeks, that's not a quarter. No, the 13th week is vacation. So every quarter, are you giving yourself a week? And not everybody does that. It doesn't work out perfectly that way. I appreciate that. But if you're not taking time at all because you feel, not going to tell you how to feel, because you feel that you can't or you think that you can't, well, it's my job as your coach to step in and change the way you think. Because that has a direct correlation to how you're going to feel. How do we know this? We know this from BOLD. Point far. You'll hear us talk about point far. So if you've got a sharp crayon, write this down. If you want to make a circle, you can, because that's really the analogy is a circle. At the top, there's a P. At about 3 o'clock, put a T. At about 5 o'clock, put an F. At about 7 o'clock, put an A. And at about 9 o'clock, I guess we should have done 2, and I don't know. Put the R. So around the circle, PTFAR. PTFAR. We are a product of our environments, right? So our programming, and I think people will argue, well, your programming is usually locked and loaded by 18. I personally would disagree with that. I think you are probably solidified in a lot of your belief systems, and a lot of your hardwiring is probably locked and loaded at 29.9. I think when somebody gets to 30, you're most likely not going to change what guides a lot of our decision making, right? Usually is our faith and our politics. I think after 30, you're probably not going to change somebody's mind about how they feel about a prime mover, whatever they tie their faith and belief system to. And you're probably really not going to change their politics. So a lot of that is built where we grew up. That's your programming. And a lot of that, you could argue, and it could be true. I think a lot of us feel that it is. A lot of that is hardwired. Some of those neural pathways, some of those mental programming bridges are never going to be destroyed, never going to be burnt to the ground, although we can create new neural pathways. That's where peers come in. That's where coaches come in. That's where people in your life that are here to help you think differently so you can get what you want when you want it. If I can help you think differently, that will allow you to feel differently. I can't tell you how to feel. I can encourage you to think differently. I can ask questions to uncover motivations, to break through circumstances that have you thinking a certain way. So when you have your programming from the past and you start to think differently, that will cause you to feel differently. Then our feelings, PTF, we're getting to A now, our feelings will navigate us to act differently. And then a change in our actions will usually garner different results or new results. And we have those results in front of us. We have to think to ourselves, okay, so is this the result I was looking for? Are these the droids I was looking for? And if that's the case, cool, then we do that again. So if your programming right now is saying that I can't take the time, and here's the irony of us not giving us respite, when we don't give ourselves the rest and the time off. I would argue most of us, and this could go for anybody with any change in a career path or employment. I would argue most of us came into real estate because we wanted to control two things. The two streams of revenue most important. And one's more important than the other. It's time and money. And you're thinking, well, the money's more important. It's not. You can get that back. Some of the most successful people on the planet have dipped way low and then made massive monetary comebacks. Time's gone. Gone. Gray hair. Gone. Not getting it back. So if you came here, if your intention, if your thoughts where I will get into real estate, where I can control my calendar and my bank account, then let's act accordingly. Let's do that. One of the things we're going to do this year that we've never done before, maybe way back when, but certainly I got here in 2010. I was an agent up until 2014. Then I stepped into the coaching role. And as your coach, I've always done the business planning clinic in the fall. We usually start in September. The real high achievers will jump into that September class. Sneak preview, the September business planning clinic will be in Portsmouth. We don't have dates yet. I'll give you dates later. I'll tell you this date, though. Thursday, June 30th. Thursday, June 30th in Portsmouth. It'll be hybrid as well. Thursday, June 30th in the Portsmouth training room. We are going to do business planning clinic. Is it intended for 2023? It is not. What is the very next day? The very next day is July 1st. It is halftime. So we're going to do a 15th protocol business planning clinic. Because if you feel like you need it right now, I appreciate that. Because everybody, every one of us, we make grand plans on December 31st. My 2022 is going to be X, Y, and Z. And we get off track. So we need to reset. For a lot of you, this will be your first business planning clinic. That's fine. For some of you maniacs, and I love you, you're going to come June 30th, and you're going to come back in September to plan next year. But if you want to jump into a full day, full version business planning clinic to hit the reset button for part 2 of 2022, then join us on Thursday, June 30th. Details will be coming. You can be in the room here. We will provide sustenance, brought to you by one of our great local lenders. I'll let you guess. I haven't even asked him yet. I'm sure he'll say yes. If he doesn't, I'll find a better lender. I'm just kidding. I won't. You can't. It's impossible. And we'll throw it on the intertubes. So anyone that wants to be part of a refresh for the second half of their year can join us Thursday, June 30th. Because we need to behave differently in order to change this marketplace. Numbers are starting to tick up. That's good. And if I had to guess, I'd blame it on us. Because what you talk about, you bring about. People grow into the conversations you create around them. That's why we're always talking about listings. That's never going to change. If you feel like we're talking about listings more now, said with love, you're incorrect. You're just hearing it now. You're hearing it now for the first time. I've been talking incessantly about listings for all the times, forevers. They are all that matters. They are all that matters. Well, don't you care about buyers? I do. What are buyers looking for? Listings. They are our frickin' superpower. And everybody that can hear my voice right now needs at least one more. That was sarcasm for those of you scoring at home. There's nobody on planet Earth, when I ask the question, does anybody have too much money in the bank? Does anybody have too many listings? Nobody ever says yes. Ever. And the too much money in the bank, that doesn't come from greed. That's not where I'm coming from. That's coming from creating massive opportunity for your loved ones. Well, if I made a certain amount of money, that would be enough. Well, let's have the enough conversation. What is too much opportunity? What is too much money? Wouldn't it be fun to find out if you became disgusted with yourself for creating too much generational wealth for your family? For being too philanthropic? Because that's what you'd all do. We've all been privy to these Powerball conversations we have with our loved ones. Oh my God, it's going to be $600 million after taxes? Lump sum? What would you do? I've never been near somebody and they're like sharks and lasers with the pinky in the corner of their mouth. Nobody says that. It's always philanthropic. It's always doing things for other people. That is money. It is a form of energy in a different medium that is exchanged between people for commodities or services. So when you go and get the listing and serve the seller and the buyer and the marketplace, and some people in planet America would say, oh my God, those realtors, they get paid too much for what they do, because they don't see exactly what you guys do to do what you do. Newsflash, you get paid in direct correlation with the amount of people that you help. You directly affect, usually, 2 lives, if not more, every time a house transacts. Somebody's moving in, somebody's moving on. And they're grateful. So you're programmed a certain way. How will you think differently today to allow yourself to feel differently? So you're inclined to take different actions and garner new results. What will you do? The home tours kicked off. I'm sure you guys are about a half an hour into it. They took off from our office here in Portsmouth today. Ignite is online. We're going to be at timsoffice.com. timsoffice.com for Ignite if you want to join us for that. That starts in just minutes at 9 o'clock. We're also in person in Portsmouth. And that is Keep Every Lead. We're on session 10 of Ignite. We're halfway through. Keep Every Lead we'll be talking about today. And then right after that at 11 o'clock, brand new on Tuesdays at 11 o'clock. Tuesdays at 11 o'clock, scripts, conversation blueprints, handling objections, bring your questions, town hall style. Me and whoever wants to join me. Because if you don't have conversations, you're never going to get to the conference table or to the kitchen table to sign the buyer or the listing into your life, into your business. And if your thought right now is, I don't really like scripts, they don't sound like me, I know they don't sound like you because you haven't been practicing them. Said with love. We say this all the time. I was joking yesterday with Mueller, and she was talking about Glengarry Glen Ross. If you've never seen it, early 90s movie, not for kids, a lot of language flying around. Glengarry Glen Ross, real estate movie from the early 90s. Phenomenal cast, top to bottom. Pacino, Baldwin, just phenomenal cast. Spacey's in there too before he got arrested. It's awesome. So let me ask you this. If that's your favorite movie, if Bridges in Madison County, I'm going to say Caddyshack, which isn't a classic, but it's a classic. What's your favorite movie? Where did that movie start logistically? It started with a bunch of people sitting around a table reading a script for the first time. Until those people read, memorized, internalized, and then exercised those words. Read, memorized, internalized, and exercised those words. because the written word is like a text. De Niro, with his script from Taxi Driver, if you're reading it, you're like, are you looking at me? It doesn't take the same effect as when he's like, are you looking at me? Are you looking at me? You've seen that movie. If you haven't seen that movie, you haven't seen Glenn Ross, put that coffee down. Coffee is for closers. Until Baldwin runs that line 1 trillion times and delivers it to Jack Lemmon, it's not quotable. People in our office aren't saying that. Guys and girls, tomorrow at the Links at Outlook, may the course be with you, the KWCLM Golf Classic, are going to be yelling Caddyshack quotes all day. Because the way those people delivered those lines made them memorable. So much so that they're being said over and over and over again thereafter. Scripts are wildly important. And I will say this with love. If you think your scripts are rocking and rolling and you don't have an appointment on the calendar, you're either not talking to people or you're talking to people and your scripts currently, write it down, suck. And I say that with love, because your next answer will be like, well, no, I'm using them. I mean, they're mine. I'm winging it. Wing It is a chicken joint down the street. They don't have any listings either. Stop winging it. We love to fancy ourselves rocket scientists and brain surgeons. Real estate is so difficult. No, it's not. Let's be honest. It is simple, not easy. It is simple because we have all the tools. It is simple because we have all the resources, the scripts, the systems, the models, the education, the training, the coaching. All of that simplifies the process. What makes it not easy is us. We get in our own way. We are our own roadblock and our own solution rolled into one. What portion of that program would you like to be today? Will you be solution-based? Will you jump into Ignite today? timsoffice.com. Will you join us for Scripts today, which I believe is Keller TV at 11 o'clock? Or are you going to do the same thing today that you've done in the past because you're programmed that way and you think that way and you feel that way and you act that way and your results will be the same? It's up to you. Zoe and I, as your coaches, we're not here to tell you how to run your business. We're here to offer best practices. That's it. What do we know? People that want to kick ass and take names, people that want to build a business and a legacy are dead serial about what they do every day. Because you become hyper purposeful with your KW minutes and you hone your skills, when you do get on the phone, the results will show up. You'll be a results-driven agent, a business owner. And then you will have time every day to put your feet up, to spend more time with your family, to be present when you're home. Because don't go home and not be home. Don't go home and not be at dinner. Don't go home and keep working. Go home and be home. Because you crushed it during the day. Because you deserve it. So does your family. The vacation you haven't planned yet, plan it today. Well, I don't know if I'll have the time or the money. Well, then figure it out. And how do you do that? by getting to work. We have to get to work. It's Tuesday, and I'm saying have to and you should. I'm not here to should all over you. It's not what I want to do on a Tuesday. You know what you need to do. We all know what we need to do. We have a ton of work in front of us, and there is time for that. That is now. So at 5 o'clock, if you've got a showing or something like that, fine. Other than that, get home to your loved ones. And plan some quality time off for you and your loved ones before Labor Day. And if you want to correlate that down to the day, take some time for yourself. The millionaire hour, usually 4:59 a.m. Give yourself time to meditate, to read, to stretch, to yoga, to run, to ride, whatever you're doing. Whether it's physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, give yourself time before the world wakes up and the time bandits and the energy demons come in, right? It's your day. This is your time. Tomorrow it's about golf. Tomorrow we will be at the KWCLM Classic. The link's at Outlook to raise money for a great cause. I hope you're joining us. That would be phenomenal to see you. If you're playing, I'll see you out there. If I scream 5, it means I should have screamed 4, but it's worse than a 4, so it's a 5. I'm not good at golf, but I'm good at taking some time off, throwing some money at a great cause, being with people that fill me with joy. We all have a ton of work to do. I could easily say I can't take tomorrow off. Couldn't possibly do that. And all that money I'm spending on golf, I should save that for my vacation. Gary always says it's not a plural. Don't talk about your priorities today. You have a priority today. You have one thing that you should be doing. That such by doing, everything else becomes easier or unnecessary. You know what that is. And I adore you guys. I'm not worried about you. Let me finish before you jump to conclusions about what I'm about to say. I'm not worried about you. My concern is for the family on the other side of you. The loved ones at home who are subject to what you're about to do or not do today. They're counting on you. I'm betting on you. What's it going to be? Stop winging it. The whole E to P thing, entrepreneurial to purposeful. Be purposeful. Take your KW minutes, get to work, make them purposeful. So when you go home, you can be home, take care of yourself, take care of your loved ones. That's our job. That's our mission. If I can help with anything, let me know. It's 603-834-2856 or meetwithcoach.com. We are 2 minutes away from Ignite, and we'll see you in the training room and online. Have a great day.